What's good, everyone? Today I want to talk to you about 6 tips for you to have more fun in Destiny 2. A couple of things I want to get out of the way right up front. The first is, if you didn't like the original Destiny, you probably won't like Destiny 2, and that's okay. The game might not be for you. Second thing I wanted to mention is these tips are probably pretty obvious. I don't have some secret keys to the studio that give me insider knowledge on the fast-track secrets to success in Destiny 2. But I do have a lot of time racked up in Destiny 1 on both platforms, and I've had a ton of fun in the process. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, join a clan. Seriously, there are 2 experiences in Destiny, the solo experience and the community experience. I think the solo experience stinks, and anybody who went through Destiny 1 as a solo player only using LFG for the occasional group activities missed out on 85% of the fun that was Destiny. It is such a community-driven game that having friends who can share those experiences with you is a huge part of it, and if you don't have that, it's not very much fun. Even though Destiny 2 is going to have the new guided games feature, which will make life a lot easier for solo players wanting to do endgame content, you still want to land on a community that you can play with regularly, and that is the clan. Bungie is giving clans a heck of a lot more features and emphasis in Destiny 2 with clan-wide progression and rewards. So how do you go about finding a clan? There are clans for pretty much every interest group you can imagine. There's clans for parents, for teens, for college kids. There are clans for pretty much all of the major podcasts, including ours, Destiny the Show, which is accepting members for Destiny 2. There are clans for the different subreddits, for competitive PvP communities, trials, raids, PvE, you name it, and there's a clan out there for it. Just takes a little bit of Google searching and spending some time on the Bungie.net website. My second tip is invest back into your gear, and I really want to emphasize you don't need to spend money to have fun, even though Activision would like you to think otherwise probably. But if you've got gear that's kind of falling apart, like an old controller that's just got some stick drift, or maybe slow turn or a button that's not working, now's probably a good time to invest into a new controller. If your clan's going to primarily be using Discord and you still are rocking those iPod earbuds, maybe you want to save up and buy like a little bit of a gaming headset so it makes communication easier. Maybe you're a PvP player who's looking to improve the response time of their monitor. I used a 10-year-old monitor for like 5 years, and it had horrible response time. The gray was terrible, very blurry. I still had fun on the monitor, but when I actually invested and took the time to research upgrade to a nicer monitor with a lower response time, it was like night and day. A couple of cool products to think about would be Control Freaks. They can make aiming a lot easier. And then if you're interested in upgrading to a nicer controller that has like paddles on the back like a Scuff or Elite, I did a review a few weeks ago of the FPS Strike Dominator, which for $40 on PS4 basically gives you paddles without the expense of a more pricey Scuff. Number 3. Variety is the spice of life, and with that said, try out different classes in Destiny 2. If you only ever used one setup in one class throughout all of Destiny 1, you missed out on a huge portion of the fun, and that is the variety of the game. For 3 months straight, I used Grasp of Malak and a Voidwalker Warlock, and that got really old. The moment that I started playing different classes, using lots of different weapon setups, was the moment that I engaged with Destiny again, and it really is what breathed life into a lot of Year 2 and Year 3 for me. Now, I can only speculate on the amount of content that we'll have in Destiny 2, but I'm fairly certain that you're going to want to do quite a bit of variety and roll multiple characters, one of each class. Number 4. Take your sweet time and play Destiny 2 how you want to. If you want to go as fast as possible to get max, go for it. If you want to take your sweet time and play the game at your leisure, do that as well. Destiny 2 is a game that has all sorts of players, casuals, quote-unquote hardcore, so just play the game how you want. If you don't want to rush through the game, don't rush through the game. Always with these progression-based titles, there's sort of this unspoken pressure that you need to get to endgame as fast as stinking possible so you can do the raid with your buddies, but many times that leads to ripping through the content so fast you didn't appreciate it. Try and ignore that unspoken pressure and just play the game and enjoy the game for what it is. I know being somebody who makes YouTube videos, I'm kind of guilty of the rush through as fast as possible to try and do the raids the first week. But even with Destiny 2, I'm looking at it differently going, you know, I kind of want to enjoy this experience start to finish. So I'll play the game at whatever pace feels comfortable. Number 5, if you have your clan, something that can really help is if you schedule a weekly night where you play. Whether that's your trials group getting together, or it's the raid group, or maybe it's just a couple other guys who are looking, or gals looking to do a nightfall together. When you have a regular weekly time, it becomes a whole lot easier instead of finding out, hey, are you available on this day at this time, or you available on this day at that time? I know that sounds super weird, like scheduling to game. But ultimately, for these group activities, when everybody has a different schedule, it's a lot easier to plan. And you're like, yeah, Friday night is trials night. I'm going to be doing trials with my bros on that Friday evening. And maybe it's just once a month. Like the last Friday of the month, we're going to be running the raid. Just a suggestion, not something you have to take to heart. Number 6. If you enjoy the game, you enjoy the game. Don't worry about arguing with others. Throughout Destiny 1, there is a lot of stuff that I didn't enjoy. I don't think the game's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I know I had a really good time with Destiny 1 and put quite a bit of playtime into it. Had some good adventures, made some great memories with my friends. Destiny has always been a very contentious game and will continue to be so throughout Destiny 2. So if you ever have anybody jiving up in your face being like, yeah, but this is so stupid and why are they doing this? Don't you feel dumb for liking the game? Don't worry about it. If you want to defend the game, go for it, but otherwise just enjoy it and ignore the noise. I critique the game about things that I don't like on the podcast and try and keep it as honest as I can, but at the end of the day, I still find it to be a fairly fun way for me to play a really unique shooter with a group of friends that I've made over the last few years. So that's gonna do it for my tips to have more fun in Destiny 2. Pretty obvious, I know, but I'm getting super hyped, especially after that Patrol trailer from yesterday, which I'll leave linked at the end of this video. Hey, if you enjoyed, please like the video, drop a subscribe for more content. We are just less than 2 weeks away from Destiny 2, and the PC beta's next week. Thanks, and we'll talk to you next time.